in your opinion, will this decision affect borrowing, for instance, for both individuals and businesses?
Yeah, thank you, Victor. I start by saying that the decision to hold by the MPC was expected. Yes, it didn't come to me as a surprise at all. And that's also why you find that not virtually, all the 12 members that attended the meeting, voted to hold. On the strength of some of the reasons, she has advanced, because basically the central bank is looking at what is happening to exchange rate. It's also looking at the inflation expectation. Okay, when the central bank, for example, there is one study I saw by the central bank. A central bank conducts a study, a business expectation study, for example, where businesses are expecting that inflation rate will moderate in a particular year. That will certainly inform their decisions, not to further tighten. Okay, so I think largely the decision to hold, for me, marks the end of an era of an aggressive, tightening stance. So I want to expect that going forward, going into as we make progress in the year, and as some of these macro variables become more stable, the MPC may even consider loosening. Okay, for me, I think we have seen, at least for now, we've seen the end of the tightening. Now, how would it affect, cost of borrowing? Of course, you know that when you have the monetary policy rate is more like the anchor for interest rates. If you look at the CBN's guidelines, okay, for charges, it says there that if a bank is lending, the cost of the interest rate charged is negotiable, but should be anchored on the monetary policy rate. So the monetary policy rate determines the rate at which banks lend. Because what is it in the first place? Monetary policy rate is the rate, simply put, the rate at which the central bank lends money to the deposit money banks. Oh. So if the central bank is lending to you at 27.5, which is the monetary policy rate, of course, plus 5, the corridor, okay, you can only lend money, at a rate that is higher. So when you have higher policy rates, it also translates to higher lending rates. Right. So how will this now affect lending? When you hold, it means interest rates will not go. Yes, they're stable, and of course but
there are other factors.
It creates room for planning. Okay, yes, these factors are, of course, there. When I say when you hold, of course, it is all other factors, staying constant. Yes, of course, if you hold rates or you reduce rates, okay, all other factors remaining, ceteris paribus, you also expect that cost of funds will come down, and then access to credit, will improve, and that should also translate into improved output. Okay, so generally speaking, okay, low interest rate environments, promotes output. But part of why you find the central bank, increasing policy rates is when central bank has reason to believe that, too much money out there is also complicating, the issue of prices, including exchange rates, because when you have too much money out there, part of it also goes to chase the scarce forex, okay, and exchange rate rises, and just as she said, if exchange rate rises, you have the pass-through of that to, again, inflation.
So in your own view, you just said low interest rate promotes output. Would you say 27.5% is fair enough?
No, of course, it's high. It's high. That's why I told you that going further, I will want that rate to be, to come down. If you look at sub-Saharan Africa, okay, if you take the average, Nigeria is about the highest. Ghana has 27%, interest rate. So ours is 27.5, and it's not just 27.5. There is, if you add the what we call the corridor is 500 basis points. That's plus 5. Okay, that means the lending rate is actually over 30%. That the central bank, gives to the
all right, many thanks.
So it is of course high, and it is high. I told you why it is high. It is high because of where we are coming from. The fact that over the years we've had so much printing of money, that happened in ways, what they call ways and means, and central bank had been increasing because of the general view that such would help to suck out all of that from the economy.